Hello, this is Karosh with Temple of Geek, back with you with some more Playdays Summer Games Fest 2025 Summer Edition coverage, and I am excited to talk about Outer Loop Games' newest game that they have showcasing here, Dosa Divas. This is a game I've been watching. They've been presenting at Day of Devs and at Summer Games Fest, and they got a chance to get hands-on with the game and see what it's all about, so I wanted to share some of my insights and just reception of the game was. So if you're familiar with them, they've done games like Thirsty Suitors and there's numerous other games that they've worked on, but that was one of the most recent ones that I've really enjoyed and dug. And there's a cultural element to it that they bring front and center with that game, and now with Dosa Divas. With this game, it's these two characters that you kind of follow, and they're like mech that is kind of alive, and you get to do turn-based RPG through this, colorful, vibrant cultural world that they've created, really revolving around food and the creation of it and the development of it, both like local kind of shops and then the more corporate side of stuff. So it's kind of has this fun, tongue-in-cheek, flavorful incorporation of those elements, both front and center with like the world they create and the themes that they mess with, but also with a lot of the gameplay mechanics. I mentioned the combat and the main kind of gameplay loop outside of just traversal through the world is very RPG-esque, and it's a turn-based RPG. And so if you're familiar with like Octopath Traveler and games like that, there is you face off against enemies, and you will typically be able to discover, if you aren't able to identify the types of weaknesses that will break them and cause them to miss their turns in the order. And so you can really take advantage of that. In this game, the way they incorporate that, which is a fun, kind of flavorful, like I said, way, pun intended, is the weaknesses aren't based on spears, swords, axes, magic, such and such. Is based on flavors. So the flavor of attack that you bring, whether it's sweet, sour, spicy, salty, such and so forth, each flavor, each enemy has a weakness to certain types of flavors and certain types of just tastes and stuff. And so hitting them with those attacks causes them not to break, but to be full. And so that's where I'm like, oh, I love how on the larger story context levels it incorporates that, but also on these more smaller detail areas where it's like you can tell the care is put into it, much like a local food joint. There's a lot of care and love put into the food. I feel like they are treating this game as if it's their dish, and they're presenting it to us as the main course. And I was eating. Like, I loved how it felt. I love the characters. I love the dialogue between them. It felt very just real and enjoyable. And you kind of feel like you get to embody those characters and spend time with them. And I am excited to spend more time with this game. This is one of my highlights for the event. So really happy to see what Outer Loops Games has created with this game. And I believe it's a current 2026 release. So excited to see development continue. And, we're seeing a lot more games. So we'll be back with more coverage from other games for Temple of Geek. Thank you for your time.